بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I seek refuge with Allah against the rejected enemy Satan. I bear witness that none deserve to be worshipped except for one supreme being alone, Allah the Almighty. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his messenger, our prophet, sent to all of humanity. May Allah's blessings and peace be unto him, his family, the Muslims, the believers, the righteous people all over the world. Ameen. And I say to you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والأفضل وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعده. O Allah, regarding the power of this most perfect call and everlasting prayer, that is the adhan that was called, grant to Muhammad the means and the exalted steps, and raise him unto the glorious position that you, Allah, have promised him. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Allah, la ilaha illa huwa. There is no God except for him. Huwa alladhi khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jami'an. Allah, it is who alone He created for all of you, all of humanity, whatever is in the earth, all of it. This is our Quran. Again, الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. He, Allah alone, it is who has created for all of you whatever is in the earth. This is Al-Quran 3. Most people don't understand why Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given this Quran. And this little verse, one of many verses, is explained for most people of the earth, poor people, illiterate, uneducated, humble people. Majority of the people in the world are good people. They're sincere people. They're honest people. The majority of the people in the world, they're not corrupt. The corrupt people are just a small percentage. Allah gave us this ayat to let us know that no one race, no one nation can claim the wealth of the earth as their own. And the khalaqalakum, He, Allah, is who created for all of you. Ma fil ardi, whatever is in the earth. This is Quran. And when you have small, ignorant, illiterate people, they feel that there's some chosen people somewhere who have the right to the resources under their feet. This is most people of the earth, innocent, unassuming, unknown. We have many people in the West who feel that they have some divine destiny to go to the lands of the Middle East, or the lands of South America, or the lands of Africa, because of their military might, because of their academic prowess, that they have a special ownership of the land of the earth. And I'm saying this to you Muslims because you have a Quran and you have to stand up as I'm standing up and preach this message of Muhammad the Prophet for global justice. And we're suffering in many of our Muslim lands, in many places throughout the world where we are as Muslims, because we have not raised the Quran up above our academic learning. Our mathematics is higher than the Quran. Our medicine is higher than the Quran. Our engineering is higher than the Quran. And as a result, our nations are lower than any of the nations in the West. Yes. So again, it says that it is He, Allah, who has created everything in the earth for every single human being on the planet Earth. And no people have exclusive rights to take the resources from under the feet of a weak people. They don't have that right. And in Al-Ansar and in other faith traditions, but especially in Al-Ansar, it says, Qul huwallahu ahad. Say He, Allah, is one and alone. Allah is not one, but I'm just saying it to you. He's the only. Allah is Samad. Allah, we say, is eternal. As Samad doesn't mean eternal. As Samad means something more than eternal. If you say Allah is eternal, the term eternal has a beginning and an ending. Allah has no beginning and ending. Allah is Samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Allah is not having a son, no children, and Allah Himself is not born. Kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like God. Nothing like God. And for most of the poor people in the world, they have been given a religion with the image of God, of the people who have conquered their lands. And I pray, Allah, that you will pay serious attention to this football. And this is not a place to come and go to sleep. If you want to go to sleep, go out there somewhere. Because what I'm giving you is a very serious message. The majority of the people who are conquered, they're not conquered by guns necessarily. They're not conquered by military tanks. They're conquered by giving them a God in an image other than their face. You want to conquer a people? Give them a God that's not in their image. And those people then will see themselves inferior to the people who look like the God that you gave them. And they can't compete. They can't compete. I'm giving you the reasons why you have Al-Islam. You go to any masjid anywhere in the world, you won't see any pictures of a Caucasian God, of a black God, of an Arab God, of a Pakistani God. You won't see that. Because Al-Islam is not going to give racism a bed to grow in. Allahu Akbar. Yes. This is the pure religion of which humanity can see their equality. All human beings can see where they're equal. And you may ask, well, why do we have this? Because Allah shows us Himself first. Because only He can serve as a real object for human life to move towards. He's the only one. You move towards your job will disappoint you. You move towards your husband or your wife, they'll disappoint you. You move towards your nation will disappoint you. The only thing that will not disappoint you is God Himself. It won't never disappoint you. That's why He gives us this. And Allah Almighty, He tells us in the Quran, He says, لَقَدْ خَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And we have لَقَدْ خَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And we have made most noble, most dignified all of the children of Adam. This is the Quran. I know you know this. Some of you know this better than I do. You were born hearing this. But we need to understand something in addition. What the Quran is telling us is nobility is inborn. It comes with your creation. You know how they say in the United States they gave us the right to vote? You know how they say that? They gave the blacks the right to vote. They gave the woman the right to vote. You understand how they talk that language? Well, who gave them the right to give us the rights? Okay? Nobody can give you the right to vote. Nobody can give you dignity. Nobody can give you nobility. This is what your Quran is saying. Your Quran comes to correct misunderstandings and arrogant people who say, well, I'm going to give you some rights. I'm going to give you these rights. No. And Islam says there's a dignity in every individual. And it is a strong foundation for your identity to yourself. The sense of yourself. View that Allah wants you to have so you will be comfortable with yourself. Allah, He made benefits to reach us through the creation. Allah made this environment itself, the material matter, that has in itself the role of dignifying human beings. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Dirt dignifies you. Water dignifies you. Air dignifies you. The material matter dignifies you. It makes you noble. The material earth is a tool that Allah uses to create you and I. Allah. Yeah. And this material matter, it is communicating intelligence to my mind. The material matter is doing it. And most people don't understand what I'm saying. Like me, I didn't understand the first revelation given to Muhammad the Prophet. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. Khalaqa al-insana min 'alaq. Iqra wa rabbuka al-akram. Alladhi 'allama bil qalam. 'Allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. Okay. Allah had already made Muhammad's physical body. Right? He had a physical body. His physical body was perfect. The body of Muhammad, just as your physical body is made perfect. So, when this revelation was given to Muhammad the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and I pray that you will listen to this very deeply. Before Muhammad the Prophet, the world had science. The world could build buildings. The world had chemistry. The world had all of that before Muhammad the Prophet. But you know where the wealth and the education was before Muhammad the Prophet? You know where it was? It was in the hands of a few people. It was in the hands of the leadership only, in government leaders, in religious leaders. The common people like you and me, sisters, like you sisters, you could not get education. You brothers could not get education. Me, I could not get education. We couldn't get it because we were not the sons of kings, the sons of religious leaders. So Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah sent him to begin public education. The public education that you see in Europe, that you see in Germany, that you see in the United States, the public education they give him credit, and I take my hat off to him. But the first prophet to educate the masses, not Jesus, not Moses, not Abraham, the first one to educate the masses was Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And you would not have colleges, you would not have universities, you would not have high schools, you would not have elementary schools if it was not for Muhammad the prophet, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's Iqra, Bismi Rabbika alladhi khalaqa. Read with the name of your Lord who created. Because Allah gave this to Muhammad the prophet, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And I say this often because there may be people in here who don't understand like I didn't understand. This is the Quran I had in my hand, and this was not what Muhammad was given to read. It says, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. He was not given this to read. Allah. He wasn't given this. So what was he reading? He was reading the material creation. He was reading material matter. And he was reading his own creation and the creation of all human beings. Praise be to Allah. The human being is a creature that's under law, the natural law, what you call instinct. But we're under instinct only to a small degree. We have been freed by Allah because Allah wants the human being to evolve into a dignified high position of which your physical body cannot do. Your physical body is only a container that receives knowledge so that your mind can evolve. The physical body can only get so tall. It can only get so fat. And Allah bless Muhammad the prophet to know that the creation of the human being that Allah wants is the intellect. That is the message of Al-Ansar. And I want to say this to you, because this is so priceless. You know, when you were first born and you come from the womb, your parents could not speak to you. They couldn't speak to you. They could speak Arabic, English, French, German. They couldn't speak to you. But Allah spoke to you. And He shows you the light, and He contrasts that with the darkness. That's how Allah speaks to you. He didn't speak to you in English. He didn't speak to you in Arabic. He spoke to you with the language of the objects that He made in creation. I hope that I'm helping you. You know the biologist, the first biologist that ever was, that had no textbook? How did he get knowledge? He got knowledge because Allah spoke to him through the creation. He didn't read a book. He read the creation. The first man to do mathematics, he didn't have a book. What did he have? He read creation. So Muhammad the prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was guided by Allah to help us to understand how man came into knowledge. And Muhammad the prophet did the same thing. What did he do? He read creation. He didn't have a book in writing. He read the created matter. Allah. So Allah, your parents can't speak to you when you're first born. I'm giving you further explanation on chapter 96. Allah lets you experience quiet in the womb of your mother for 9 months. Me and Mom, that's perfect heaven. Then Allah throws us into a noisy world. And Allah speaks to your mind with that noise. Allah, when He began us, and I want to let you know where I'm coming from. I should have given you this verse. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa, khalaqa al-insana min 'alaq. He created the human being from a clock. So I'm explaining that ayat now. Now he began us with a clock. And how does He reach us now after we evolved from the clock? Allah speaks to us with extremes. Light and dark. Cold, that's his language. Soft and hard surface, that's his language. Hunger, that's his language. That's Allah's language. And why does he do this? Because he begins shaking you up inside and making the atoms